Hello, hello, everyone, and so good to see you for today's Unleashing the Power of Women Voices event. I'm so thrilled to have you here watching us live or perhaps on replay. No matter where in the world you are, I want you to leave a comment below. Let us know where you're watching us from. And of course, today we have a beautiful lineup of incredible speakers from all around the world about women empowerment, confidence building, sharing their personal stories. They might be touching on business, healing, and many other topics. So I hope you stay with us for the next 2 hours as we spotlight our incredible speakers. We've got more than 10 amazing speakers today. And of course, my beautiful co-host, Abigail Rebecca Pugh. Hi, Abby.
Hi, Ramunda. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited about today's event. We've already done round one. We're going into round two. And I'm very, very excited to hear what our wonderful speakers are going to share with us today.
Yes, likewise. So we've been doing this for quite a while now, few years running as far as Women Thrive and Women Thrive Summit. And these Women Unleashing the Power of Women Voices events, we hold every third Thursday of the month. And this is where you can get connected with other female entrepreneurs, women in business, coaches, mentors, aspirational women who have done incredible things in the world. They might be authors, and they are here because they share the passion and mission of women empowerment. And for us, it's so important to create a stage and a platform where every woman has a voice. And through my own personal experience, I know just what it's like to not have a voice. I know what it's like to battle with confidence issues, to not have an identity, and all of those things that I have lost in my personal life in my mid-20s. But today, I want to advocate for every woman to know that her voice matters, her story matters. And if you are here today, I hope you feel inspired by these incredible women that we get to spotlight and just to hear their stories, hear what they have to say, hear what things they have had to overcome to be here. And I want you to take a moment to think, if I was on a stage, what story would I be sharing with the world? And how can I step up to share my story? Because through you sharing your story with somebody else, you give permission to other people to share theirs. And you can remind them that they're not alone, because a lot of times we go through trauma or difficult life situations, and honestly, we feel so alone. And through our community at Women Thrive, our goal is to bring people together and to make sure that you don't feel alone, that we share stories, we have discussions, we have conversations about things that matter to all of us. And when you listen to some of the stories today, you may not have had exactly the same experience, but I have no doubt that you could relate to some of these women's stories, because I believe that no matter where you are in the world, no matter what background you're from, no matter what age you are, some things that we have all experienced, we can probably relate to. Abigail, I know you're really passionate about women empowerment. And what does it really mean to you for women to be empowered? And why should we be having this conversation today?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Yeah, I am. It's part of my mission and my vision in my own personal life, in my business, and also why I'm so passionate about supporting the mission and vision of Women Thrive. For me, when I think about women empowerment, there's only one word that comes up, and it's freedom. Freedom is so important to me. I didn't really have freedom in my life when I was growing up. I was brought up to be very disempowered as a woman, not to have any choices. I wasn't allowed to have an opinion, and had to make a decision at a very early age whether I was going to stay in that environment or whether I was going to leave. And I chose to leave, and there were consequences that were attached to that. But I look back and I'm so proud of myself for making that decision at such an early age. And I think I decided very, very young that that would be my mission in life. So if I look back at my whole corporate career and then the last 8 years of my business, it really has been focused on empowering women to feel good about themselves, to love themselves, to honor themselves, and to really raise their self-esteem. And, we were speaking about it on the showcase this morning, actually, Ray, if you remember, it takes a lot to come and speak on this stage. We all have dreams about what we want to do within our business and our speaking careers. I'm sure that many of you watching might be thinking that this is something that you would like to do one day. Well, when will that day come? What I'm so proud of within our community, that every single woman has raised her hand and stepped into her leadership and made a commitment to come on here and be visible and to go on this beautiful journey with us, because she has a story to tell, and she knows that that has value in the world, and she wants to empower other people to transform in their lives as well. So I just want to honor all of our speakers, not only our speakers that are speaking on our stage today, but all of our speakers that will be speaking on the Women Thrive stage in March on the summit, and all of our past speakers as well. It's an absolute honor to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some amazing women, and I can't underestimate, what it took for them to get here in their own personal lives and the things they have had to overcome. And even just to go through our selection process, we have nearly 1,000 people apply for the speaking opportunities on our stage. And some of these women who are spotlighted today have gone through our entire process, and they are here as speakers and as women to share their voice and inspire and impact the world through our platform. So if you're watching this right now, can I ask you two favors, if you don't mind? One is to leave a comment in the chat and let us know where in the world you are. I know we have global audience. I know we have people watching from all around the world. So we want to get to know you. And remember, you can network, you can connect in the chat. That's not a problem. You can let us know what you do. And secondly, we want to reach more people in the world. And if you feel like this would be a beautiful conversation for your audience to also discover, how about sharing it to your social media followers? Really, really would appreciate that, because we want to spread the message as far and wide as we can. Because I think what you get to hear today, there are so many other people who perhaps are needing this message today. So please, if you could share it and just put shared in the comments, really appreciate that. And of course, I can see our amazing speakers lining up in a green room. And I know Abigail is going to introduce our first speaker.
I am. Thank you, Ray. I'm very honored to introduce our first speaker today. She is a career strategy coach who ditched the corporate hustle culture. Yes. And started Cardigan Careers to help millennial women bridge the gap and create fulfilling careers on their own terms. She's networked her way into the creation of multiple six-figure leadership roles with Fortune 10, Fortune 500, and multi-billion-dollar US companies. Please welcome to the stage, Christina Green.
Good day. Can you hear me okay, Abby?
I can hear you very, very well. Welcome. Congratulations on being our first speaker today. It's great to see you here, and please take it away.
Thank you so much, Abby. I appreciate that. And good day, everyone. Thank you so much for this time. And Abby, I should have you introduce me everywhere I go. Thank you very much for that. Today, I want to talk to you about really actually building on what Ray and Abby were mentioning, which is around visibility, right? And today, I think the environment that we're in globally, women, we are finding new corners and new pathways to be visible, not only in our careers, in our lives, right? And visible and seen, right, as humans, as individuals, as independent women who are, bridging the gap and blazing new pathways. And I want to take you back to a story of my childhood. So early on, right, we all have these dreams. A little girl, imagine me, a little girl, long curly hair, with a microphone singing my heart out in the middle of the living room, right? I was about 3 or 4. I had big dreams of wanting to do all of the things, all of the glamorous things that I saw on television, on the movies. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to bring my voice and my light and share that with so many. And as I became older, I grew into understanding that there weren't a lot of women, there weren't a lot of people who looked like me, right? Not in my immediate family, not in my community, not in what I could see visible on the screen. And what I see today is I see a beautiful evolution of how that is no longer the case, right? My children are now growing up in a world that is starting to mirror them. They are part of communities and classrooms where their classmates are. They in fact are a mirror to a similar lifestyle, or at least a similar, upbringing. They look similar to one another. And that wasn't there when I was growing up. And so I love how this is becoming an evolution within our global community, right? And those dreams that I had as a little girl became muted because everything was, no, don't be seen, don't be too loud, don't stand out of line, don't, take up too much space, don't be bigger than who you're supposed to be, right? We're all supposed to fill a role within a family, a role within our within our lives, and it's not to step into a light that's bigger than anyone else, right? Because in many ways, especially if you're part of our generation, that you understand that there wasn't a place for us. There wasn't a place for our light to shine in those corners, right? So I look at how I muted my visibility as a mom, holding the camera, taking pictures of everyone else, never being in front of the camera, because that was also to another way to be seen, to be visible. How did I appear when I was married? How did I show up in that marriage, right? Did I take the front seat and make decisions along with my husband at the time, right? How did I want to be seen when we were out in public, when we were going to events and existing within our family, within our family friend groups? How did I show up professionally to be visibly to be seen? I would accept the role of note taker. I would not push or challenge the thoughts and ideas that were being expressed by leaders simply because I didn't want to be seen too much as a thorn. I didn't want to be received in a way that was not going to be beneficial to me. So I learned very early how to mute myself, how to step into the shadows and not be seen. And if you don't know me, you don't know that I stand 6 feet tall. I have never been intended to be in a shadow, to be in a corner, to be unseen. My light is intentional to be seen on many stages simply because I think I am speaking to others who also see this light in themselves and understand how they've been dimming that for years. And I want you to give yourself permission to be seen, to be visible for in whatever stage it is that you're looking for, whether it be public, whether it be presence within your family. I want you to choose yourself, give yourself the permission to be seen. Because here's my question: who was waiting for you to show up? Who was waiting for you to be brave enough to be visible so that you can inspire them to also choose to be visible and seen in their own life? Thank you very much for this time and for this opportunity. I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day and rest of your week.
Oh, Christina, amazing. I see so many smiles in a green room and women agreeing with that. How many times do we dim our lights? It's just so common for us to feel like, I don't want to be too much. And women, a lot of times, are very apologetic when they come into spaces. And I always say, you don't have to. What has helped you to overcome that and really step into your power?
Such a great question. And I would tell you, it has been decades of sitting in the dark and ignoring the little girl inside of me who has been fighting to say, listen, I just want to be present. I just want to be heard. I just want to be seen, and recognizing that that was a part of myself that I was ignoring for so long that truly was damaging everything I was part of, my relationships, professionally, personally. And so when I embraced her, I let go of all of the shadow, right? I let go of all of that, the dimming of my light, and embraced this new life that says, in fact, that I can exist, simultaneously in parallel with her. We can both choose our joy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think we do such a disservice to people and those around us when we decide to not share our voice or talk about our stories. And by speaking up, we give permission to other people to speak up. And that's the most beautiful thing. And I want to celebrate you, Christina, for coming this far and coming out of dark into the light and being here to inspire other people and to tell them it's okay. You may go through those ups and downs, but there comes a time where, you shining a light, you serving the world with it.
That's right. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better, Ray.
How do people connect with you, Christina?
Absolutely. You can, my handle is on Instagram is christina.m.green, and just connect with me there, because I share empowerment stories, and of course around career, but really it's about stepping in your power and your life, because that influences everything. And that's how you can connect with me. Thank you very much, Ramonda.
Awesome, Christina. Well, we get to see you on the summit in March, and hopefully many more times leading up to it, some of these showcases in the next few months. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.
Well, this was Christina Green. Make sure you connect with her on social media channels, and there is so much more to come. Visibility is so important for women. This is one of the things that we do via Women Thrive platform to support women to have a voice and create this beautiful platform for a community. Now, my next speaker, she is so incredible, and I have had amazing opportunity of getting to know her over the last few months through our community and heard her speak many times, and she is incredible. So my next speaker is Safa, who is a women's empowerment and an embodiment mentor. She blends feminine embodiment, emotional mastery, and introspective practices to guide women in reclaiming personal sovereignty and transforming their lives. With over a decade of experience, she helps clients excavate subconscious wounds and limiting beliefs, fostering self compassion and inner power. Safa, welcome.
Raymond, thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here. And I want everyone just to take a deep breath and invite everyone to take a moment to consider the following question throughout the rest of the day, the rest of the week, is I want you to take a moment to consider what it would be like for you to become sovereign of your life, and not just sovereign, but to become the mistress of your life. And the reason I say this is I am a firm believer that we get to live lives that feel like the most delicious love affair in this world. Like they get to be a romance for the ages. And a lot of times we rob ourselves of that possibility because we don't see ourselves as important enough, while at the same time believing that we are just too something, too needy, too bright, too something. And so that idea, the idea of needing to stay small, to keep yourself back from showing who you truly are, that space that you're afraid to go there because it might mean that you will not be perceived the way that you want to be perceived, that is what is keeping you back, what is holding you back from taking personal sovereignty in your life. And the thing is, the second we allow ourselves the breath, the depth, the space of devotion and love to become the ultimate authority in our lives, as well as to become the best, most delicious, most fervent, most devoted lover that we will ever have in our lives, that is when things truly start to change. That is when we get to see the difference between feeling like we're at the effect of everything or feeling like we are at the helm And at the helm is where you belong, with your crown full up on your head, with your power shining through no matter what, and with a pure belief and inner knowing that you are amazing, that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you are this incredible force, that you are the goddess embodied, and that you get to take up space in this world massively. You get to be expansive, you get to be wonderful, and you get to do it all from a place of self-reclamation that is completely wild, that is not contingent on, I will be this when. I will be this when I reach this number in business. I will be this when I lose this much weight. I will be this when. Forget that. You are that wonderful, amazing, awe-inspiring creature right now in this moment. And everything that you do is going to generate more beauty, more healing, more love, more power. You get to have an effect in this world when you choose to lead from a place of personal sovereignty, when you get to open the door to the possibility that you get to love yourself more deeply, more massively, more delectably than anyone else in this world. And that is when your life becomes a dream come true. It's not because your manifestations came right out of the page that you were writing them on, though that is really fun and it's amazing when it happens. It's because you get to show up from a place of such beautiful authority and such beautiful power in this life that you just know. This is it. You are the one at the helm. You are the main character in your story. You don't just let things push you side to side. You're the one that gets to choose. You become devoted, and as the mistress, you call the shots. You are the one who gets to decide where your pleasure leads you. You are the one who gets to decide where your boundaries are. You are the one. Stop looking for that outside of yourself. Take pleasure in the idea of what that would look like in your day-to-day life. And then ask, how much longer are you willing to sit back and wait? How much longer are you willing to stop yourself from being that fully embodied version of yourself? And why are you waiting? And if it's because you believe that right now you are too imperfect or not good enough, and that when something changes, fill in the blank, that is when you can do it, then I encourage you to shift the narrative today and see yourself as the wonderful human being that you are. Oh,
I am muted.
Okay. I was like, I can't hear you.
How I muted, that's typical, isn't it? After you've just given that wonderful speech about self-love and empowerment, and I'm muted. Safa, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful work with all of us. Self-love, deep self-love, you know, you said there that we're our greatest lover. You used a word there that I really love, and it's devotion. I really, really love that word. Safa, what are you devoted to?
Goddess, I'm devoted to life, to be honest with you. I've just gone through so much in my life where I pretty much spent a whole, maybe like 2 full decades, if not more, of my life completely disconnected from not just myself, but from what this life gets to be like. And I've just become such a devotee of every aspect of life these days. It's like I was joking with someone the other day. I said, you know what really is marvelous to me is that I get to be devoted to everything, to include my pain, to include the fear, to include the amazing exuberance of joy, to include contentment. So I'm devoted to living the most fully present, most self-devoted, but also most loving and expansive life possible. And I'm very, very devoted to seeing every single woman in this world completely embodied and drenched and oozing her own personal power. That is my biggest devotion, I think, ever.
I really feel that it resonates through your aura when you're speaking. I really feel that from you, and we are absolutely over the moon that you are going to be speaking on our stage officially in March, but of course so many opportunities leading up to that, lots of visibility coming your way. We know about that. And how can people connect in with you? Like, you hang out, is it I'm kind of assuming it's Instagram most of the time that you hang out on. How can people find you on Instagram and social media?
Yeah, absolutely. I, first of all, love people emailing me directly. So if you're just wanting to like shoot me a question or something, then you can email me info@yoursoulfulgoddess. But yes, I I am very much still an Instagram person. I'm so visual. I just love the look of Instagram still to this day. So you can find me on Instagram @yoursoulfulgoddess.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Thanks, Safa. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful gifts with us today and for that great speech. Okay, so it's great to see you showing the love in the comments. We see you, we see you, we see you. Please keep sharing and supporting our speakers because they are absolutely incredible and they have so much wisdom to share with you today. And I love Safa's talk there about self-love. You know, this is really our platform is about obviously empowering, raising the voices of women, but a big part of that is the visibility piece, right? We need to be visible in order to be able to share our story, right? Share our wisdom and also share all the tools and the knowledge that we have. So yeah, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much, Safa. Thank you so much. Okay, we are going to move on to our next speaker. So our next speaker is Heather Hansen. She's affectionately known as the gut health paramedic, and she's the visionary behind the transformative digestive CPR framework. And maybe we will hear a little bit about what that stands for. As a wellness expert, she's on a mission to empower leaders to conquer the relentless issues of bloating, fatigue, brain fog, and weight gain that the medical community often leaves unresolved. Heather, welcome to the stage. There you are. Hi, Heather.
Hi, how are you? How are you? Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here with such an amazing group of women sharing part of my journey, which honestly is a little piece of my journey that I haven't shared with anyone until today. So I'm taking a little bit of a different stand. So I'm Heather Hansen, a wife, mother, nana, dog mom, entrepreneur, CEO, and an adventure junkie. Earlier this year, I made a powerful decision that I was done playing small, ready to stop hiding and ready to stand boldly so that I can fulfill my life's purpose of giving women a safe space to heal. I'm on a mission to let women know that they do not have to settle for poor health. They are not just getting older, and they can spend time living and dreaming instead of worrying and wondering. My journey began as a young girl, struggling with mysterious health issues that could not be explained by my doctors. I struggled with a myriad of symptoms, but the one that was most significant to me was weight gain at the age of 14, and it impacted me significantly. Growing up in a small rural town had many struggles and limitations, not to mention all the bad things that happened that no one talked about: domestic violence, sexual and verbal abuse, and bullying. I was 49 years old when I finally understood that I developed a core program of control as a young child. I did this to protect myself and keep myself safe. This core programming served me for years and helped me become a strong, independent woman who did not let anyone tell her that she could not accomplish something that she wanted. On the other hand, this need for controlling my environment also created havoc in my life. I developed a severe body image issue and eating disorder at the age of 15, and I carried this through the next 25 years of my life. And to be honest, it affected me until last year. This control did not stop there. I controlled everything and anything I could, which led to overexercising, overworking, codependency, overdoing for others so that I could feel good about myself. I needed to be busy doing something at all times so that I did not have to deal with all the noise that I had shoved down deep inside. Even though I showed up strong and confident to other people, inside I was constantly slinging crap at myself. Not good enough, not pretty enough, not worthy enough, not educated enough. I told myself such ugly things, and these were things I would never say to another person. This control also guided my career in nursing, as I could really pour my heart into helping others, although shoving these emotions down that I carried continued to cause my body to create havoc and a laundry list of symptoms that could not be completely explained. I was finally diagnosed with autoimmune thyroiditis and a very large thyroid goiter, fluctuating from hypo to hyperthyroid around age 19, although I had had this goiter for 7 years and it was still undiagnosed. I had many doctors, many tests, many symptoms, and even a hysterectomy by the age of 25. And this hysterectomy was supposed to fix me and fix all my problems, although it only made my symptoms worse. I wanted someone to tell me how to fix my problems. I didn't want a Band-Aid, and I just wanted to feel better. After a horrible visit to a GYN who told me he could not help me, he wanted to put me on immunosuppressants because he had no idea what else he could do with me, I went home and threw all my medications in the trash and decided to find a different way. I knew that I felt better when I did not eat, so I knew that something that I was eating was definitely causing a problem. I went on a gluten and dairy-free diet, which helped my symptoms dramatically, but I can tell you in 2001 and 2002, it was not very popular to do. I was told many times that all of this was in my head, which is probably somewhat true, because now that I know about the unconscious mind and how it works, my mind was definitely creating some of my symptoms. I tested eating these foods over and over again, and over and over again, they created issues. During this time, I worked as a nurse in a family practice office and knew my patients well. So many of them complained of being tired and were on multiple medications. These patients were in their 30s and 40s and thought they were just getting old and destined for high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, you name it, just because their parents had these things. I made a bold decision and decided that I was going to shift my career and teach my patients how to eat and exercise. I thought it was that simple, which could not be further from the truth. The doctor that I worked with gave me permission to do whatever I wanted, and that is what I did. I started a 12-week therapeutic lifestyle program that allowed many of my patients to decrease or get off of medications and feel better than they had in years. However, I was more intrigued by the patients who did not have much success, which led me through years of education and training and guided my career into finding the root cause of symptoms and helped me figure out that my oldest son had celiac disease. This is a long story and a long journey because I'm almost 50 and I can't believe it. But the honest part of this is that I thought I was really digging deep to help others. But what was really happening is that God was guiding me to help myself, to finally deal with all the crap that I stuffed down. It was hard to finally face the deep-rooted beliefs that had been holding me back all those years. What I realized through the process is that I was never in control to begin with. All of the things that were the most out of control in my life actually created the most tremendous growth. And today I feel so free, so light, and more authentic than I've ever felt in my life. So I challenge each and every one of you to not just get old, to not just be and not just accept symptoms that don't make sense, to advocate for yourself, because there is life to live outside of all of this.
Heather, oh my goodness, what a story. And thank you for being so open, honest, and raw to talk to us about your journey in getting here. And it's really the journey that teaches us most profound lessons. And now, tell me a little bit more about how you support others in your journey.
So how I support others. So I've made an entire career out of really providing that space for women to heal. Because what I realized that I was missing is I needed a connection with somebody. I needed hope that I was going to get better, and I needed a plan on how I was going to get there. And that's what I like to provide for all the people that I work with. It's just they need connection, hope, and a plan. And once you have that, anything is possible.
Yeah, and how liberating it is to be here now. And it's like you said, I've never felt more myself than I am now. How do you see life now that you almost, came the full circle and you've done your own healing journey?
I feel like I can actually find joy in my life, right? There were so many good things in my life, but I felt this emptiness inside, that I wasn't worthy of feeling happiness and joy. And what I realized through this whole journey that I went through, and even a lot of classes that I took just in the last year and a half, has been a big, big evolution for me, is that we all have an inner child, the person that we would be had none of the crap ever happened to us. And I think I've discovered who that is, which is very open and very free. And even though I had always been a caretaker to so many others, now I can actually really feel that genuine happiness for myself and stop talking to myself in such ugly ways.
Yeah, yeah, it is really the internal dialogue, but there's so many layers to healing, I think. And you were talking about, overworking and overdoing things, and that is actually a sign that perhaps there is something more, and it's not just the physical aspect, but it's also the emotional aspect that it comes in layers, and the deeper you go, the more you're able to heal and really become more of yourself, which is so refreshing. Heather, how do people connect with you?
So a lot of different ways. They can find me on LinkedIn just under Heather Hansen. My Instagram, Facebook is Flourish Nutritional Therapy. So that's a little bit hard to find, but I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. Or they're more than welcome to email me at heatherhansennutrition@gmail.com.
Fantastic. Heather, definitely welcome you to put your links in the comment section below. And if you feel inspired by Heather's story and maybe you want to have a private conversation, go ahead and connect with Heather on any of your social media channels. And you never know where one conversation could lead. Maybe it could lead to your own healing and transformational journey. Heather, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yay, that was amazing. And as you can see, our speakers are here to really pour into you, and they're not afraid to speak of the things perhaps that we don't regularly speak, and open up their stories for your benefit. So if you're still here with us, leave a comment below. Let me know how you're enjoying this session today. And if you haven't already, make sure you share it with your social media followers. We've still got some amazing speakers lining up. So my next speaker is Cassandra Love Lambert, the visionary behind 𝐶_LOVE. She's a trauma-trained somatic transformational coach and an artist. She is fully certified in clinical EFT, brain spotting, and somatic attachment therapy. And Cassandra is a beacon of hope and transformation for women seeking healing and empowerment. And as you can see, we're talking about healing quite a lot. Cassandra, please unmute yourself and welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Ramonda. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am thrilled. I can't wait to hear your talk. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, today I wanted to talk about if you've ever not been dealt a really great hand in life. Maybe you come from really rough beginnings. Maybe you didn't have a supportive household or childhood, or like a loving parent, and maybe your house was just full of abuse or chaos, and it was so confusing when you were little, and you just never had that really solid foundation that you always wished you had. I want to tell you that no matter what you were dealt in life, you can transform it. And I actually speak to this a lot in my upcoming book, Into the Light, Becoming My Own Hero. I was born into a house with a single mom, and she was in and out of abusive relationships. And one of those relationships she got into was with someone who ended up sexually abusing me and my sister. I was only 5, and it happened when she went to work. And this happened until I was the age of 8. And then also, because of having that kind of childhood, I repeated these patterns of my mom in my 20s, not meaning to, it was just like I was in trauma response and reaction, really in survival mode, and using the only coping strategies I knew how to grab onto. And I was in and out of personal growth work, therapy, all kinds of things. I was trying everything from going to medicine healing circles with shamans to, the more traditional route of talk therapy. And I thought I had done a pretty good job of healing. And then I had my daughter. And so all the healing I thought I had done, I found out in my 30s, did not get to those roots. And that was a blessing and also like a big wake up call. Like, okay, if these things didn't really help get to the roots of what I'm experiencing, what will, right? I don't want like that surface layer of like, oh, feel good in the moment. Like I really wanted to transform these things that felt so broken. I felt so broken. And it actually led me to somatic work. And if you've been through something really traumatic in your life where you weren't dealt the best cards, I highly encourage getting into some somatic work. And the pieces that really helped me were clinical EFT tapping, brain spotting, and somatic attachment therapy, which is very similar to inner family systems. And when you put these together, you can literally get to those belief systems that got programmed into you in childhood. You can get to those memories that parts of you are still living out over and over and over again in your subconscious. You can and actually transform them, like where they process through to just be a memory. You can also change your coping strategies for life. And through this process, you will gain wisdom from all of those things you've gone through. And they'll become, and from it will emerge a new belief system that actually supports you and where you want to go. So it doesn't matter what cards you were dealt. It doesn't matter if you didn't have the most loving parents or the most safe childhood or, a role model to look up to. No matter where you come from, you can transform all of that into your superpower and it will become your passion. It will become your purpose and you'll be able to actually touch other people who are in similar situations and help bring them to the light as well. And so that's my talk today is just about like it doesn't matter what you were dealt, where you come from, your beginnings, you can take specific steps and you can turn it all around. It kind of reminds me of the book The Alchemist, where you just take all of that pain, take all those not so great things you were given, and you can transform them into something beautiful, impactful, and meaningful. Yeah, somatic. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Abby.
And thank you so much. Thank you for sharing so beautifully. Thank you for sharing your story so vulnerably. I know, that takes a lot of courage, regardless of whether you've shared it one time or 100 times. We really appreciate that. And yeah, personally, I'm such an advocate for somatic work and EFT. I love that it was when you had your daughter.
Yes.
What was that like? What was that? I just want to know what that moment was when it was like, oh, okay, I haven't done all the work yet. I need to do a little bit more.
Yeah, it was actually really scary. Because when I had her, I had thought I did a really good job. I was going to Burning Man, I had dropped all the weight that I used to use for protection. However, having a daughter, one of the biggest fears of mine came up of like, oh no, I have to protect this little being. I don't want her to go through what I went through. And it just felt really scary. And so it kind of like brought all the trauma to the surface that I thought I had worked on, but I hadn't really gotten to the roots. It was almost like a trauma capsule opened up, and it was very overwhelming. And it actually brought me to my knees to a dark night of the soul moment where I turned towards creator, a higher source of power. And that's what actually guided me to the somatic work that actually transformed my life, which I'm like forever grateful for. Yeah. It was one of those relationships I had to repair because going through the abuse, I was so angry at if there is a higher power, how could they let this happen to kids? How could they let this happen to me? Right. So there was a lot of anger there. And through the repair of that relationship, I was guided to people and processes that actually helped. And then because they actually helped, I felt called to actually get certified in them to help others. Yeah.
Beautiful. They're such a
Mhm.
mirror, aren't they, children, right? It brings
Yeah,
them
for
all
sure.
stuff.
Oh my gosh,
They
yeah.
are a mirror to the wounds,
Mhm.
and they have this way of drawing it out. And what a blessing
Yeah.
that you had to be able to heal in that way.
Yeah.
Cassandra, thank you so much for sharing. I love your energy. I was when you were speaking, I don't know if you've heard the song Angel of My Dreams by 𝐷𝐸.
Yeah.
It's going viral. She used to be in
Mhm.
Little Mix. It's her like first solo song. And it was just in my head because I just love your angel wings
Oh,
so
thank
much. They just make me
Thank you.
smile
Mhm.
every time that I see you. Cassandra, where can we find you? Where's the best place to find you in the online space?
Yeah, I'm really loving connecting with people on my Instagram lately because I'm sharing reels and videos and things. And that is at C_love_Lambert. And I'll put it in the chat as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you so much for sharing so beautifully, and congratulations also for being a speaker on the Women Thrive stage. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you
much.
guys for having me. Yeah.
Okay, so how are we finding the speakers so far? I am having such a lovely time here with my tea, listening to all of our wonderful speakers. And, you know, it's such a healing process. This is one of the things that I love so much about Women Thrive. Yes, okay, if you were to come on and be a speaker, then of course you'll be speaking on the stage, but there is also something very significant that happens, and we see it again and again and again when a community of women come together and share so vulnerably. The healing, the connection, the forgiveness, everything that comes from that. It's a beautiful journey. And then when those women can then transform that message and speak on stages like this, it becomes a powerful force, right, for good. So thank you for being with us, and thank you for witnessing that, because we are very proud of our speakers. Okay, we have our next wonderful speaker. We're churning them out today. So we have our next speaker. I would love to invite onto the stage Hayley Thomas, who is a dynamic business strategist, speaker, podcast host, and the founder behind the Passion Pursuit. With a mission to empower multi-passionate creatives, Hayley understands the importance of building businesses that not only thrive financially, but also enrich the lives of their founders. Through her group programs and personalized mentorship, she equips her clients with the tools and strategies necessary to create businesses rooted in purpose and joy. Hayley's mission is to show others that their wildest dreams can become their new normal. Hayley, welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here in this community and have the opportunity to speak in the Women Thrive community. So thank you.
You're more than welcome. The stage is yours, Hayley.
Amazing. I'm excited to prompt you with this reflection. You see, there's two sides to every coin, and oftentimes when it comes to those wild, crazy dreams within us, the ideas that scare us to say out loud, we tend to only ponder the side of, who am I to do this? What if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? My life forever changed when I started to flip the coin and ask, what if I could? I'll take you back about 11 years or so ago. I'll never forget sitting in the design building of my university. It was 3 a.m. and I was flooded with tears because I was stuck in a major that was sucking the joy from my being. I didn't see another option. I had been shown that there was only one way to success: to go to school, to pick a major, to get a job, to work the corporate ladder, and then retire. Then maybe you could live the life of your dreams. That was what success was described to be. And through my later college years, I was introduced to an opportunity in entrepreneurship for the first time through a network marketing company. It was the first time I allowed myself to play the other side of the coin. What if I could do this? What if there was a different way? What if those dreams that I had put on the back burner didn't have to stay there forever? And that flicker of courage and leap of faith led to a lot of twists and turns, and me discovering that there was another path to success, one that allowed you to live a life that was fulfilling and aligning with what you valued most. I saw entrepreneurship as the vehicle for freedom, time, location, financially. But one piece was missing within this path, and that was the creative freedom. It was then that I stopped looking outside of myself for the solution. And I think oftentimes we're taught to seek out our weaknesses to improve them rather than looking inwards at the gifts, the wisdom that every single one of us has within us. It is within our passions, our joys, the things that light us up inside, the way that we love to help others, the things we love to speak about that allows us to be the pioneers of our own lives. I wanted to create the space for creatives like me to see within themselves the wealth of opportunities that lied from them leaning into the gifts that they already had. We grow up with this childlike wonder, dreams bigger than ourselves, belief that anything is possible that we set our mind to. And somewhere along the way, I think we forget to dream. I think we begin to play it small, play it safe, play it realistic. We stay into this box of what is considered to be the normal, the accepted, the approved. We begin to settle for lives that are laid out for us rather than asking ourselves that deeper question of, could there be more? What do we desire most? What are we craving more of in life? We forget how to play in the realm of possibility. And it is my mission. I want to take a stand for those dreams that are within you that others may deem to be too unrealistic. That you see for yourself, you have the vision, you want more for your life, you have a desire to create a deeper impact in your community, shifting, changing generational situations from your family. Maybe you desire to travel the world. And I want to remind you that the ideas that you hold within you, the voice that is within you, the story that can impact many, the gifts that are inside of you are there to change the lives around you, including your own. I want to remind you that those dreams within you are possible and they absolutely can be your new normal. I created the Passion Pursuit to be that space for people to dream again, to rediscover what lights your soul on fire, and to teach you and equip you with everything that you need to make that your possibility, to make that your new normal. I stand for those dreams and I teach how to move out of your own way, because oftentimes the one thing that is standing in the way of where we're at and where we want to be is simply ourselves. It's that inner critic between our own two ears, the mindset that has us playing it small and playing it safe. And so I really get excited about showing you how you can shift the mind, how you can see things from the realm of possibility, getting into that place where you start surprising yourself with how good life gets to be, where Sunday scaries are a thing of the past, where you're no longer hitting snooze because you cannot wait to get out of bed in the morning, where the work that you're doing day in and day out is one that lights you up and impacts not only yourself, but those around you. The one where you get to step into being the woman, the man that you really see yourself stepping into, that excites you to your core. This is where you get to change your story. So for now, I do want to leave you here with this question. If you're going to play the side of the coin that is asking, what if it doesn't work out? Then you, my friend, owe it to yourself to also ask, what if it does? If you are looking for the permission to go for what you want, consider the fact that the desire within you may be the sign that you are looking for. You could be one decision away from completely changing your life. Oftentimes, we're looking for that answer outside of ourselves. But my friend, what if you were the pioneer? What if you were the answer to your prayers? You get to change your story. And it's time that you realize that the gifts within you are needed in this world. It's time to shine your light. So thank you for allowing me to share this message with you. And I pray that you begin to see the possibilities that are there in front of you and your path. It's not too late to change your story.
Oh, I love that, Haley. What a beautiful talk. Thank you so much. You're really inspiring possibility here today. And I think we all need that reminder once in a while to stop dimming our lights, stop playing small, stop getting in your own way, right? There's so many beautiful messages that you shared in today's talk that just serves us as just a beautiful reminder to don't hold yourself back. There is so much more that you can achieve. And I think we women are so good at making ourselves perhaps smaller than we should, and or playing small, right?
True.
What do you do on a daily basis or regular basis to remind yourself that you're capable of anything in this world?
I think a lot of times we're seeking that confidence or seeking that clarity, but what I have found through the years is both of those come from taking action. It's
Mm.
not coming from being stagnant. And whether that is big moves, little moves, every single move counts, and it does have an ability to stack on top of each other. And I think when you take that action consistently, you begin to create the evidence of what is possible for you when you step towards bit by bit the dreams that you have within you. And sometimes it is in those little daily actions of showing up for yourself, showing up for your dreams, even just speaking out what it is that you desire. That all counts. And then in other moments, it's taking those big actions. It's taking that risk, taking a decision or a leap of faith when you do have that flicker of courage. And I myself have had moments even like that this last year where I've had a moment where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I don't wait. And I think that's important too. It's like sometimes we have to leap before we're ready.
Yeah, and a lot of times when we wait, and the mind creeps in and says, "Well, maybe not yet. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I need to do this first." Self-doubting. So this strategy that you talked about, just take action, take leap, and just see what you can do, eliminates that, the mind chatter that usually tells us, "No, you're not going to do this, or it's not going to work out." Well, just try. Right, just try, and you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. We have to create the evidence. And if it's not something that is within our current circumstance, look in your past. Because oftentimes, what we're craving more of in our life is something that we've already experienced. So look for evidence of what has worked for you before and bring it to your present moment to guide you to that next phase of feeling that again and experiencing that again.
Oh, amazing. What can we expect at the Women Thrive Summit when you speak in March?
Yes. So today I talked a lot about the realm of possibility and the mindset, and I want to dig into some of those areas that can be holding somebody back. Because, like I mentioned, we tend to be the ones standing in our own way. And so I want to bring awareness to what those pieces are and then give the toolbox for how we can shift and move through them. So it will be very tangible. Things that you can take home, take action on, and really use in those moments where that inner critic tries to come in and tell you that you cannot. I really want to help provide less of a gap between where you are and where you want to go, no matter if that's through career or through life. But really, I really want to equip you with what you need to navigate this path and get out of your own way into making it happen.
Oh my goodness. I think it's going to be a power session. I'm looking forward to it. And Haley, how do people connect with you if they can't wait for March to hear more from you? How do people connect with you?
Yeah, so on Instagram is typically where I'm hanging out, and I'm always down for conversations. I love to be the sounding board for dreams. It is the Passion Pursuit Co. And I do as well have a podcast with the same name, The Passion Pursuit, where I'm speaking every single week on these types of topics and telling you how to navigate all the things. So those are two places you can find me in this season.
Amazing. The Passion Pursuit, great name there, Haley. And I love a good podcast. So I'll be looking out for your episodes. Thank you so much, Haley. It was a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
This was Haley Thomas. So if you're feeling inspired, please, I would welcome you to connect with our speakers. They're so open to receive your messages. If you feel something inspired you or sparked something in you, or maybe put you on a path of new possibilities and you want to have a sounding board or a mentor who would support the next step. So go ahead and connect with our speakers today. We've got a few more speakers lined up, so don't go anywhere, and make sure you leave a comment and share this live stream with your audience. Now, next up, I have a really bold and beautiful lady coming on to share her story. So, Kathy Baldwin has over 4 decades of experience learning from more than 100 leading minds in psychology, biology, quantum physics, and personal development. And her journey of healing and self discovery was catalyzed by the failure of traditional medical system, which often relies on pills and platitudes rather than addressing the root cause. This realization led Kathy to create her own innovative and unique system focused on true transformation and personal alignment. And I love her message of unlearn the crap. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you, Ray, for having me here today. I'm so excited.
I'm thrilled to have you. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. We already seen you at the last showcase and you totally blew us away. So over to you. I can't wait to hear what you got to share with us.
Thank you. I have a question for everyone who's watching today. What takes you out? What makes you lose your crap? Is it the word crap? Recently, I had a conversation with someone who felt they needed to clarify my use of the word crap. So let me address that right here and right now. Crap is excrement. It's excrement that needs to leave our body. And that excrement can be in emotional, in trauma, it can be physical, it can be a lot of different things. But crap is also an acronym that I have created, which is conditioned responses automatic programming. So if we are operating on a place where we are the majority of the time operating with conditioned responses and we are on automatic program, what is taking you out? What makes you lose your stuff? Let me share a story with you. Last month, I had a very, very difficult experience. It was so hard. It was one of the things that I had been afraid was ever going to happen, and it did. And it took me out. I knew it took me out, and I thought I had done enough self-work that I could handle it, that I could be proactive. And so I brought in all of my self-care and all of the tools that I had used. But yet I still had a trigger. Somebody said some things to me that I deemed to be judgmental, corrective, making me be someone I felt I wasn't. And those little innocent comments turned me into a spoiled, angry child. I started slamming doors and crying and having a total breakdown. I knew that this was how I behave when I lose my stuff. But I thought that I had learned enough, I had implemented enough, and I had healed enough that at 59 years old, I was no longer going to behave in that out of control way. What I need to understand and share with everyone is that this is a process. We are constantly unlearning the crap that has gone through our DNA, that has been ancestrally through our bodies, that has socially had been a part of our societies. What is it that takes you out? Is it a word? Is it the word crap? Is it a swear word? Is it a slang? Is it a way someone talks to you? Or do you lose it when someone brings up a topic? Religion, politics, culture. Are any of those things triggers for you? What about actions or feelings? What happens if you feel that someone is judging you? Or if you're feeling controlled or micromanaged, or any of these other things? Triggers are not our weakness. Triggers are our information system that is telling us personally that we have something left to heal. It is information from the inside of our body that is coming out and saying, you're ready. You're now ready. I don't need to keep suppressing this. I can bring this to the surface because you are ready to deal with this crap and let it go. In North America, there is a hot topic. Her name is Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey was a beautiful Black woman who called for help from the police. And she was shot in the face in her own home. I bring this up because while we all have our crap still left in us, while we have unhealed trauma, while we have things that we have not addressed, or we have not stepped into our genius, our gifts, our beauty, our purpose, our passion, then we are leaking that toxicity out into the world. We must band together. We must become people that are incapable of having anything like that happen. I believe we need to bring our light and our love together. And it must happen from the inside out. Because Eleanor Roosevelt said that it's not the water on the outside that will drown us. It's the water that we let within us. We must become the people that will take care of each other, that can end hatred and prejudice and war. And we're capable of doing that. So what is taking you out? What is your body calling you to release? Answer that question and then find what you need to get it to happen and release and heal. Because you are needed, you are wanted. The world is waiting for each and every one of us to step into our genius. And that can only happen when we unlearn our crap. Thank you.
Kathy, I don't know what to say to that apart from I love to hear you speak. I was really moved by that. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Sonia Massey and highlighted, that ongoing situation. Just lots of love to, her family and thank you for just shining your light so bright in the world. I love that you reposition the triggers, that it's nothing to shy away from, it's nothing to be afraid of. There is always a question in there, like what can I learn from this, right? If I'm triggered by this, what can I learn from this? And I love that you highlighted that. The word love just emulates from you.
Thank you so much, Abby. That means so much coming from you.
Kathy, what would you love to see in this world right now?
Oh, my passion, my dream, my fantasy, my everything is that we all unlearn the crap that is keeping us disempowered and disconnected from ourselves, and that we step into our genius, because I truly believe that when we come together in collaboration and unity, when we unite and we are living our purpose, I don't believe there is an ocean that will be dirty. I do not believe there will be a child unfed. I do not believe that there is a problem we cannot solve. And so, as I was told to play small my whole life, that message is so wrong. we are needed to step into our bigness, our genius. Marianne Williamson said it so beautifully when she said that we're not afraid of how small we are or how insignificant we are. We're afraid of how powerful we are. And we have to stop being afraid and bring it to the world.
Yes, Kathy. Yes, I'm so glad you're not playing small. The world needs you. Kathy, thank you so much for your passionate talk. Where can we find you? Like, where's the best place to follow you, connect in with you?
Well, I'm pretty easy to find. KathyBaldwin.me. I have brought everything under my own name. I'm not hiding behind brands anymore. I am stepping into my place in this world and I am claiming it. So KathyBaldwin.me is my website. That's where I Learn the Crap is. That's where my Rise Up coaching is. Everything is there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. And thank you for saying yes to being a speaker on the Women Thrive stage. We are absolutely delighted. I cannot tell you how delighted we are.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Wow, my goodness me. We are getting fired up today. And so amazing to hear our speakers really standing for something that they believe in, right? Just like Kathy there, really aligned to her values. And it's one of the things that we really feel very strongly about at Women Thrive. And we absolutely encourage our speakers to do that. So we have got some more wonderful speakers coming your way, but at the moment, I just want to invite another wonderful woman onto our stage. She is the founder of Women Thrive Media, and she is an incredible speaker, Ramonda Jan. Hi, Ramonda.
I was not expecting to be called. I didn't know it was on.
We've got a few minutes to chat before we move on to our next speaker. So yeah, I just wanted to see what your thoughts were so far about the speakers that have been on our stage so far.
Yeah, so many beautiful messages and stories really from the women that we've already seen of, the empowerment of owning our voice and stepping into our power, deconditioning ourselves. And I think historically women have been conditioned so much and told to be quiet, play small, not be too much, right? We've heard today about not being too much. I think it's just so important for us women to have a community and a place like this where not only we can be inspired by others, but be part of conversations. And I want to encourage women in today's world, particularly, to step up to leadership, to step up to have a voice. Even if you feel like nobody's listening, maybe nobody cares, have a voice and go out there and advocate for something that you feel passionate about, because this is where it all begins. And I'm super proud of all the speakers that have already shared their stories today. It was beautiful.
Yeah, there's a real theme, isn't there, that is moving quite beautifully through our talks today. And it's very much about stepping into that leadership role and really empowering ourselves and speaking our truth on stages like this. So it's a real pleasure to be able to showcase these wonderful women to you. Yeah. Shall we move on to our next speaker?
I just want to say that when you speak up and when you share something, you create ripple effect. And at first, it may start as little ripples, right? Just small ripples. So you may not even hear from anyone how you have impacted their lives. But the more regularly, the more consistent you are with your message, with your visibility, with your speaking up, eventually people will start to follow you as a leader. And you will create that ripple effect. People will start to reach out to say how much you impacted their lives or how much they inspired you. So don't lose faith that someone is watching, because I promise you there is someone out there watching you, and there is someone for everyone. And I'm sure that when we become more vulnerable and self-accepting and we really show up from a place of service, and we don't mind sharing our inner, not secrets, but things that perhaps we held inside because we were too afraid of judgment. When we do that, we really open the doors for other people to see us for our true inner beauty. And I see beauty in every single woman. And I see past all the layers, see their heart of what they're here to do. So never forget how important it is for you to share your message with the world, because you are here to change some lives. And I hope if you are watching this right now, that you're feeling that way and you're feeling inspired and motivated, and hopefully connecting with some of our incredible speakers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were speaking about it this morning, weren't we, on this morning's event, about the importance of fine-tuning your messaging. And this is a great way to do it. You know, our speakers coming on today, just talking about what they do, why they're so passionate, sharing their story. You do that again and again and again, and you can really start to fine-tune your message, so you can, you know, like you said, speak from the heart, but also speak into the heart of the people that you want to attract into your ecosystem, and the people that you want to impact.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. We've got a few more speakers lining up, but if you're here, if you're enjoying this, we want to see you in the comments, and we hope that you come back to many more of these showcases and join the summit as well.
Yeah, join the summit. And also, I just wanted to mention really quickly that if you are inspired by any of our speakers and you're watching this at the moment and you're like, I could do that, or maybe I'd like to do that, but could I, maybe? I just want to encourage you and invite you in to look at that, and to maybe look at some of the reasons that are holding you back, and take that step if it is something that you really feel called to and you'd really love to do. We have just a few spots left now on our summit stage for next year, and we're going to be closing our door in a couple of weeks. And you can find our application on the Women Thrive Summit website, which I'm sure is going to be put in the link in the comments very shortly. You see, Ramonda's straight in there. I knew she'd be putting that in there. And apply. I would do it sooner rather than later, because we are closing the door. We can only take in so many speakers, and we are nearly at our full capacity, but you might just be able to squeeze in. And if it's something that's really in your destiny, then hey, let's make it happen.
You know, I always believe that whoever's meant to be on this stage will be. And if by any chance you're watching this and you're thinking, wow, this is so inspiring, I want to do this as well, this might be the call. And I'm thrilled by the people we have already have lined up for the summit. And there's that rush at the end, or when we announce the summit later on in the year, it's like, I want to speak. So don't miss that opportunity, because the applications will close in about a week's time. And we certainly know that whoever is meant to be on the stage will be.
We sometimes have some amazing speakers that just come in right at the very end, don't they? Like last day, and then it happens. So yeah, we'd love to speak to you about it. Thanks, Ramonda.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
So let's move on to our next speaker. I'd love to invite onto the stage Carol Padell. She's a native New Yorker, a single mum by choice, and she's the host of the podcast She Takes the Lead, where she leverages her extensive, diverse experience and network to provide her listeners with the tools and know-how to navigate their own professional and personal trajectories, proving that we are all capable of great change as long as we stay moving. Her diverse careers include beginning at age 13, working as an actress and singer in New York, to then becoming an Emmy and Peabody Award-winning TV news producer. Following that, she worked as a private event planner for high net worth individuals. I bet you've got some stories, Carol, and has since leveraged her unique background and skill set to advise multi-billion-dollar financial service firms in the HR and real estate facilities services space. Welcome to the stage, Carol. Oh, you're muted, I think. There we go.
I was just tired from all the things. Thank you, Abby. I appreciate the introduction. That was just fantastic, and I'm so happy to be here. This has just been so incredible, and thematically, it's just it's I mean certainly on par with what I wanted to talk about, but it's also so inspiring for me to as a listener, as a woman in the world trying to navigate what's happening. So and how I move forward in my life. I'm halfway through it, at least hopefully, and I don't always know where to go and what to do, but as long as I keep moving, which is really what I wanted to talk about today. So Isaac Newton is a famous physicist, and his first law of motion states that objects at rest will stay at rest, right? Objects in motion will stay in motion with the same speed and direction of travel unless acted upon by an unparalleled external force. I'm going to say that one more time because I need to hear it again. Objects in motion will stay in motion with the same speed and direction of travel unless acted upon by an unbalanced external force. So in my universe, the unbalanced external force is life, right? It's all the things. It's my 5-year-old daughter. It's my 80-year-old parents. It's my job. It's I date. I mean, I don't even know, right? All of these things are always moving and making my life move into a direction that I don't even intend for it to go, but it always goes there. And I spent a long time really trying to push my life in one direction. And I don't know if you relate to that. I always had multi-passions, but I really was embarrassed about it because the people around me were really good at what they did. And I wanted to be really good at one thing that I did. And I never felt like I was. And so I felt like I was less than as a result of that, And as once you've lived a life for a period of time, grenades get tossed across your table. And I had a handful of grenades basically in the same year get tossed across my table. And I had a divorce that my partner had declared he didn't want kids. I desperately wanted kids. I had never dated anybody else. I had gotten let go from a job that I didn't even really like, but was paying health insurance. And I really, hit a bottom. I mean, I had the love and support, which is so huge, of my family and friends, but I really didn't know what to do. And I didn't really know how to get out of it. And I just got stuck. I have huge anxiety and I just got stuck. And at some point right, what were we saying? Objects in motion will stay in motion with the same speed and direction of travel unless acted upon. Objects in motion will stay in motion. And I managed to take all of that, forgive my cursing, shit energy and all of that negative self-talk and say, okay, I'm open now. I've had a focus on what I wanted my life to be in. And now I just have to stay open and see what opportunities will come to me. And, they didn't all just come in front of me at that moment. But the energy that I was able to harness over that period of time, over the pain and the struggle and the hurt and the hurdles, I was able to turn it around one day at a time and use it to just get stuff done. And that's really what I wanted to advocate. Nothing looks perfect and nothing is ever going to be perfect. And really, just if you get stuff done, you have succeeded in your day. And as you keep moving and doing that, what happens is you start to see the opportunities that are coming to you, and you start to visualize what those opportunities actually are, and that they are opportunities. And if you can stay open with those opportunities, then you start to see that your dreams are far larger than your imagination can tell. You start to realize that the dreams that are out there that you can succeed in while you stay in motion one day at a time at the same speed and direction will get you where you want to go. Stay in motion. So that is what I would like you to take away from this, is that you can do anything you want. You can pivot, left turns can come and go, but if you stay in motion, you will continue to go where you need to go. And if you're really listening, it'll take you to some places you never thought imaginable. So I thank you for listening, and, you know, be as kind as you would to your best friend, to yourself. Thanks.
Oh, Carol, I love your bravery and just calling it out and just saying as it is, and also being a single mama by choice. That's pretty incredible, making those choices in your life and being bold and brave. What was that like taking this bold leap?
You know, you get put in places that you never thought you'd be, and they are the best thing ever. Honestly, I spent 12 years trying to have my kid. And I just knew that my life would, I knew if I didn't have a partner again, I'd be okay. But if I didn't have a child, and not everybody thinks this, I am absolutely an advocate. If you don't want a child, you should not have one. But that I felt like if I didn't have a child, my life would be, would not have been successful for me. I would have felt like my life had gone some very, very wrong. And I really take that with me one day at a time with my raising my daughter, is that there's never a question. And, you know, the rest is just day-to-day stuff that all the moms do out there.
Isn't it like a new superpower that we find once we become moms, right? It's just like a whole new energy that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. The brain fog comes in, but all the other things open up, and you can do anything.
Yeah. I want to ask you quite a personal question, really. And were you faced with any judgment and maybe pushback from, I don't know, your surroundings, your environment? And I'm sure that must have been quite a ride.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I'm very fortunate, is the truth. I have, you know, I really believe in a tribe, and I have spent many years trying to develop my tribe and trimming off my tribe, which helped. But yeah, I mean, I have definitely been looked sideways for being a single mom. More recently, I was out really with my daughter and a bunch of our friends with kids at a like playground somewhere out, you know, and I started chatting with this gentleman, and he seemed fine. You know, my daughter and his son were playing, and we started chatting, and he found out I was a single mom. And I don't really, you know, being a single mom is very hard, but being a married mom is also very hard. They're just very different hard. But his statement was, he said, "Wow, you're a single mom. You know, how do you work? Like, and I mean, it was so taken aback that a single mom could not be a mom because I had to work, but not." And I you know, I generally don't think there was any malevolence in there, but it was a little dumb. You know, frankly, because I felt like we all have to work, and we all have to, whatever we do, you know, even if you're, you know, at home with your children all day long. I mean, that work is epic, you know. So when that comes, first of all, I try to like come from a place of humanity and positivity, because I don't want that in me. And also, like, maybe he'll learn. Maybe he needed to hear me say that. Maybe he now knows that all women work, and all women have work, and that is how we parent.
Yeah. I think we can do incredible things, and we can do it all. We can have family, we can have a career, we can have hobbies. It's just managing our priorities. And, you know, you said it quite right. Stagnation is death, and not taking action. And we deserve our dreams, and why let anything stop us just because you don't have a partner, not to have a family that you desire, or not to have career, because I think you can find a way. And particularly women, because we do wear so many hats in our lives, I think we're quite capable of more than we even believe, or others believe that we can do. And you're an absolute example of that, Carol.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will say what you mentioned about dreams is the idea that, you know, we're allowed to have more than one dream. It doesn't always happen at the same time, but we're allowed to have many, 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 many dreams. Right?
Yeah. Carol, how do people connect with you?
Oh, okay. I'm on Instagram. I'm About a Blonde. I'm probably going to stay this hair color. So I'm About a Blonde on Instagram, Facebook, About a Blonde Official. You can find my website at carolcodell.com, which also is aboutablonde.com. So either way, you have my name or my handle, you will find me, my website. And I have a podcast that's weekly called She Takes the Lead, where we talk about all the things from, you know, careers, parenting, neurodiversity, entrepreneurship, but always from the topic of what do we do now and how do we move forward?
I love that. Carol, you're amazing. I'm so thrilled to have you on our platform. And yes, for the blondes, I'm rooting for us.
Back at you, baby.
Is that saying still real, that blondes do have more fun?
I'm living it, so yes.
Just had to.
Yes, amen.
Just had to. Thanks, Carol. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
I think we were having a lot of fun today, and, you know, lighthearted jokes, and life can be serious and life can be tough. And I'm sure that life throws curveballs at us. Sometimes it does feel lonely. Sometimes it feels unbearable. I'm having tears in my eyes. I'm getting very emotional again, not only because I know what it's like to experience curveballs in your life, but you know, all these women that we bring to our stage, we know their stories deeply. We know their backgrounds. We know what they've been through and what it has taken them to get here. Okay, I'm just going to be authentic and cry. And it's just so beautiful to see, you know, the things that we have overcome to be here. And that's what really inspires me to do what we do, and, you know, just raise women up and give them the opportunity to speak and have this this time together. And in life, I think sometimes we just have to have a bit of a light-hearted laugh, because life can get serious. So I encourage you to have fun. Don't forget to have fun. Even though I'm here crying for no reason. Okay, we have our next speaker. We only got 3 more speakers lined up before we finish this session today. So do make sure that you're still here, hanging out with us, connecting with our speakers, sharing this live with your friends. So my next speaker is 𝐷𝐸 𝐵𝐸, who is an award-winning #1 best-selling author and founder of Tastefully Sexy by 𝐷𝐸 𝐵, and an inspiring mindset coach. An educator for 36 years, 𝐷𝐸 has a master's degree in English and master's in human development counseling, both from University of Illinois. 𝐷𝐸 has published numerous online articles, and in March 2024, Words Matter Publishing took on her 4-book romance suspense series and published it. Book I, Deception and Consequences. My apologies if I completely messed it up, 𝐷𝐸, but I can't wait to see you here. Feeling too emotional. You can barely see through the tears. How are you, 𝐷𝐸?
I'm great. Thank you. You did a fine job. No worries. No worries.
I can't see. I'm going to have to go and clean the tears off. But whilst I do that, 𝐷𝐸, I want to hand over the mic to you, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to share with us.
For a lot of people, reading a good book is the best. Romance, intrigue, suspense, you've got it all when you read a book. I have to agree. And my obsession these days is not so much reading a book, but writing a great one. When I finished writing Deception and Consequences, I was euphoric. I was on cloud 9, but you know what they say, when you're up that high, there's going to be a fall. And it happened. I'm certainly not the only one who's had adversity in trying to catch their dreams, but it's how you deal with that adversity that really matters. What happened to me is I took heed of my father's words. When I was growing up, I had a family who believed this motto from my father that I heard many times: you are who you think you are. And even though my father has passed away and I'm an adult, I still live by that motto. You are who you think you are. And every time I try to embark on a new dream or take a new step, I hear his words, and it's really helpful. And every time I think about that, it gives me courage. And that courage, I take another step. I go back up that mountain, even though I took a punishing slide down. When I went to put Deception and Consequences together, the rejection was overwhelming. Getting a book published by a traditional publisher it's very painful. And I was waiting on the emails to come in, and they were all negative. Rejection, rejection, rejection. But I held out hope for one small publishing company that I felt like I could have a connection with, one that I felt like I needed and they needed me. But the day I opened my laptop to that message, my hopes were crushed because the message was short and curt. We do not have a vision for launching your work successfully in this marketplace. Well, I was sliding back down that mountain, and this time I took a real fall, and I wallowed in I had a self-pity party for several days. And then I decided, that's not who I am. You are who you think you are. Picked myself up, took a pivot, and I self-published. I'll shout it from the rooftops that writing a book is much easier than promoting one and selling it. Even a great book can't sell itself. And after the initial sales of Deception and Consequences, it was dead in the water. I knew nothing about social media promotion, nothing about developing myself as a brand, and nothing about collaborating with small businesses. So I needed help. I needed someone who could help me do all of those things. I didn't give up. I had that gentle cadence of my father's voice in the back of my head. You are who you think you are. And sometimes you just need a little luck, though, because finally there was a turning point. And this story cracks me up every single time, but I'm sitting in my salon. I have a full head of foil, and my stylist says to me, "Hey, I know a publisher. She comes in here all the time. Do you want me to call her?" I was terrified. I said, "No, I don't want you to call her." But then she kept talking about this woman and her accomplishments and how she's an author and her publishing company. By the end of her pitch, I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you just text her?" 4 days later, I'm sitting across from her, having lunch, signing a 4-book deal. And I'll never forget what she said to me when I handed her the pen back. She said, "Now, Marcy, the real work begins." I thought she was delirious. I thought all the work was over because now I had a publisher and I had somebody else to do it all for me. I was the one who was delirious. I was the one who had no idea what was going on. I had someone to have my back and to show me how to do things I didn't know how to do, but she wasn't going to do them for me, right? So all of this in my story is unique, I guess, but there are five key takeaways that I want to share with you because they were important to me and I think they'll be important to you. First of all, I have to be the one working hardest for my dream. No one else is going to do that for me. Number 2, you have to let failure and adversity empower you, not break you. Number 3, take chances because life is just trial and error anyway, right? Number 4, have relentless perseverance for your dreams because even if people don't understand them, they're yours and you deserve to go after them. You earn them for yourself. And number 5, I have to put myself out there every damn day. This journey is far from over for me. I'm not a rich and famous author yet, but I am climbing that mountain back up to the top. And I know that I couldn't have done it without the words of my father. You are who you think you are. Well, I'm an award-winning #1 best-selling author. Thanks, Dad.
Marcy, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was hoping that you would say that at the end, because that's what you are. And what a legacy that your father left for you, right?
Yeah.
That his,
Now I'm going to cry.
yeah, his very
He was a
wise words. What was your
master
father
motivator.
like?
I
Yeah.
lived my life growing up thinking there was nothing I couldn't do. Yeah. He
Well,
was
he's
that positive. Great man.
Well, he's left a legacy with you, and you've picked up the torch and you are running with it. One of the things that I was going to ask you is, you know, when you were sliding off that mountain, I know that you said that, you know, the what you are who you think you are, that resounded in your head. But what was it that really helped you to keep that faith when you were sliding down that mountain?
I knew I wanted it bad enough that I could make it happen. I mean, I knew I had a good book. I knew that I needed people to help me get it out there. I needed people to show me how to do the things I needed to do. I had the good book, you know, and I wasn't giving up on it, because I mean, by the time I got around to getting my publisher, Words Matter Publishing, by the time I got around to getting my publisher, I had written the other 3 books in the series. I had a whole series. What was I going to do? I can't quit on a whole series. That's a big, colossal waste of time. So I knew I could do it. But sometimes you have to get in your feels, and you have to allow yourself to, you know, have that moment and then get on with it, pivot and do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy, isn't it, that you put into
Yeah.
all of that. I mean, I can't even imagine how crushing that must be for you. And
Yeah.
we're so glad that you persevered. And
I appreciate you all.
It's great to see you. It's really great to see you. Marcy, where do we connect in with you? Where do we find you? Where do we find your books?
Okay, so my books are all over online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Also, you can find me most readily on my website, marcyb.net. And I'm all over Facebook as well. So it's just Marcy Belaski on Facebook. But yeah, I look forward to hearing from people.
Thank you, Marcy. Well, you've already got some offers in the comments. If you want to go back through the comments, I'd love to interview you on my radio network. I've already read this book. I'm waiting for the next one. So you best get to work.
That's not me. There are forces beyond me keeping that. It's coming. It's coming.
Your fans are waiting
Beyond me.
for you, Marcy. Marcy, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so happy that you said yes to being a speaker on the Women Thrive stage, and we look forward to many more talks from you. Thanks, Marcy.
Thanks so much.
So please keep the comments coming. We are coming to the end of our summit. We're not there yet. We still have 2 amazing speakers for you, but please continue to show the love, share the love, show your appreciation, any aha moments, any questions that you might have to connect in with our speakers. You know, it's really great when you are speaking on this stage, especially on a virtual stage, that we get that energy from you. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing all of your love in the comments. We appreciate it very much. Okay, we are going to move on to our next fabulous speaker. Her name is Emily Cleghorn. She is an award-winning trauma recovery coach, author, podcaster, and inspirational speaker on a mission to support trauma surviving mamas to navigate triggers and traumas as they heal their childhood trauma in the midst of parenting. Passionate about creating positive ripples for generations to come, Emily shares her powerful story of overcoming the veil of her own trauma that her own trauma had placed over her life, to inspire audiences and readers that they too can achieve peace and healing. Emily, it's great to see you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Abigail.
Oh, it's great. I can't wait to hear you speak. Over to you.
Are you a mama on a trauma recovery journey and you find yourself worrying about how you show up for your kids? doubting if they know just how much you love and care for them, fearing that you aren't doing enough, longing to cultivate more patience, but struggle with breaking the habit of yelling, which makes you feel incredibly guilty, and searching high and low for the tools you need to become a better mama, the mama you want to be for your kids. If so, you aren't alone. You might feel like you are, but you aren't. My name is Emily Cleghorn. I am a holistic trauma recovery coach, and I empower mamas who face trauma to reclaim their inner strength, guiding them through the triggers of their past to create the peaceful, loving mamahood they dream of. However, that isn't where I started. When I became a mama in 2018, I was completely blindsided by years of repressed emotions from my immensely traumatic childhood, coming to the forefront, demanding for me to deal with it immediately. On one hand, I wanted to run, while on the other hand, I knew that what the fallout would be if I decided to run. It was something that I didn't want. So I made the incredibly hard decision to stay and face those emotions and heal. Making the decision to step out of the norm of generational cycles of trauma isn't for the faint of heart. While it isn't impossible, it's a decision that requires us to dig deep and get curious. So today, I'd like to share with you 3 things that I have learned over the last 6-ish years. The first being community is key. We often feel like we need to do motherhood on our own, and our trauma tells us that we're alone in our pain. And this simply is not true. We were created for community. If you aren't yet part of a community of healing focused mamas, I encourage you to connect with one, whether it's online or in person. Having a group of mamas who've walked the healing path you're on is crucial. Make or break kind of crucial. Secondly, giving yourself grace is imperative. Oftentimes as mamas, we expect ourselves to handle the transition into parenthood with ease. And we beat ourselves up when we get overwhelmed. But if you grew up in an environment where stress and chaos was the norm, your nervous system doesn't know what calm feels like. It's missing those skills, and it's unfair to expect it to just know. Thirdly, it's okay to care for yourself. As mamas, we often get the messaging that once our littles come onto the scene, our needs come last. I would argue that this isn't beneficial for us or our kids. If you're expecting yourself to show up for your kids in a positive manner, then you need to fill your cup first. This doesn't need to be big and extravagant. It can happen in small pockets of your day. I'm excited to talk more about this over the next number of months leading up to the Women Thrive Summit next March. Thank you for being here today to hear what I have to share.
Thank you, Emily. And this is such an important conversation to be had. I think, in motherhood, we're faced with so many challenges that a lot of times we put ourselves last. But the truth is, when we put ourselves first to rest, to heal, to take care of ourselves, we become better versions for our kids. And dealing with trauma is something that will be life changing, not only for ourselves, but also for next generations to come.
Absolutely. Yeah, our kids are our mirror. And so if you're mirroring nervous system dysregulation, they're going to pick up on that, and that's what you're going to get from them as well.
Yeah. Just before this session, I took my daughter to the park, and she's quite a girl, I must say. I was like, this girl is going to keep me on my toes for the rest of my life. And she's going to teach me new levels of patience. I know that.
Absolutely.
So that this is the work that we have to do for ourselves. Well, not just for ourselves, for our kids as well. That, we have to model the right way. And I think this is what's going to make our next generation and, our kids much better, hopefully, than us. Once you have that awareness of healing, I think it's imperative that we do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Emily, I know you're going to be speaking at the Women Thrive Summit. What can our audience expect during our event?
Oh, I'm so excited to share more fully the whole framework of the Mended Mama method that I've created. So, giving practical, useful, easy to implement tools and resources specifically designed for trauma surviving mamas by a trauma surviving mama.
Yeah. And I love that you were with pride and knowing that you are here to help others heal. It's just so important that once we've done the work that we pay it forward for others now. And I love that you stand in your thought leadership in this particular area.
Thanks.
Emily, how do people connect with you if they feel inspired by your message today?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at emily.cleghorn.coach. And you can also find me on the Mamahood After Trauma podcast.
Amazing. Thank you. Again, podcasts are just a beautiful way to connect. And if you're feeling inspired by Emily's message today, if you just want to have a private conversation, feel free to reach out and connect with Emily on Instagram, other social media platforms, or check out her podcast. And I'll invite you to share your links in the comments below as well, Emily.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. This is nearly it. And I say nearly it because we still have one more amazing speaker. And this woman's story has really touched me and I think many others in our community. And I have to say, I am so proud of her being an advocate today for her message and others who have perhaps been through some life-changing circumstances. Danette Hag is our next speaker, who's inspirational speaker, registered nurse, trauma mentor, podcaster, and aspiring author. Overcoming a severe burn injury from a house explosion as a young child, Danette transformed her life and now inspires others with her remarkable journey. Danette was recognized as the 2019 Woman of Courage in Colorado, and she proudly holds the title of Mrs. Colorado in 2021, becoming the first severely scarred woman to win an esteemed state beauty pageant. Danette, so good to see you today.
So good to be here, Ramonda. Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
I am thrilled to have you on our platform for the message that you're advocating and just to hear you speak today.
Well, thank you. It's so good to be here. I am Danette, and I call myself Beauty from Ashes from Isaiah 61. And everything I speak about and all the things that I do is based on this idea that scars are scars, right? We all have them, some kind. They may look different, and the causes are different, but the healing is much the same. I believe that no one needs to get stuck behind any life scar. And that's my mission, to inspire people to rise above their scars. I believe our journeys bring us lots of wisdom in little and big ways. And and mine certainly isn't any different. Today, I want to share with you a quote of mine that came from a small moment, actually. A lot of times we think like our biggest wisdom comes from big moments, like surviving a house explosion, or even winning a state beauty pageant. But this moment really changed my life. And the quote that came out of it is, "Life's too short not to love yourself while you're working on yourself." Isn't that the truth? Life's too short not to love yourself while you're working on yourself. And that came from this moment with my mom. My mama, she's passed now, but her and I used to go shopping all the time together. My mom is this beautiful woman who gave everything of herself to her large family, to her community, to just always giving so much. Lovely woman, always pouring so much love, told me how many times I was beautiful, scars and all. But the only time her narrative changed was when she was talking about herself, particularly when she was standing in front of a mirror. And I went shopping with her a lot. And I would hear her say things like, "Oh, I'm fat," or "I hate my hair," or "Oh, my smile is awful." I would hear my mother say these things. And for so long, when someone says that, don't we just say, oh, we try and coax them through it, right? No, I would say, "Mom, you look beautiful in that color, and you look really great, and I love your hair," and those kind of things. But they never really sunk in. When I was somewhere in my 30s, her and I were shopping yet again. And her bully showed up again in front of the mirror in front of me. After her complimenting me when I was trying on things, right? I heard her talking so poorly about herself. And I was done. And I got in front of my beautiful mama, and I got in her face, and I said, "You will not talk about my mother that way. My mother's amazing and beautiful. You will not talk about my mother that way." Certainly, I wouldn't let anybody else talk about her that way. I'd probably punch somebody in the face if they were saying those things about my mom. And so I realized I had to get firm with her and to show her that it's not okay. Now, I'm not sure how much that sunk into my beautiful mama. And I'm quite certain that she left this earth not really understanding her true value and seeing herself as beautiful. But what that moment taught me was that I want my children to love themselves unconditionally. And if I'm not showing them what self-love looks like, feels like, and sounds like, where are they going to learn it? And so that was the moment that I made sure I was aware of my own bully, kicking that bully, Bertha, I call her, to the curb, and instead became my biggest cheerleader. If not for me, some moments I know my kids are listening. So I want you to think about what voice shows up for you the most. Honestly, are you your biggest critic, or are you your loudest cheerleader? Because I promise you, your children are listening and learning from you. Because life's too short not to love yourself while you're working on yourself. I'm Danette, I'm Beauty from Ashes, and I pray that you never get stuck behind any life scar. Thank you. Hi, Abigail.
I always forget that I'm unmuted. I remember the very first time that I met you on a call, and you shared your story so beautifully with me, and I was so moved, I was so inspired by your story, and now you share this story about your mother.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important for us as women to be kind to ourselves and to love ourselves and to appreciate ourselves in that way? What can be achieved if we think in that way?
Well, I believe that whatever we pour in is what seeps out. And the more we love ourselves, we can pour more love into the world. You know, if we're filled with love and peace and joy and acceptance and forgiveness and grace, there's no room for hate. There's no room for judgment. And we aren't in the practice of judging we aren't in the practice of judging ourselves. So then it's less likely we're going to be automatic at judging other people.
Yeah.
I carry my scars everywhere I go. They're there for the world to see. 70% of my body is covered in scars. But because I love myself, people see my beauty, because it shines through, because I'm okay with it all and they need to be okay with it too. Sets a tone for anyone to live their life dream. It really does.
Thank you, Dana. I mean, you know, Ramonda said that when she introduced you that you've really made an impact on our community already. So inspired by your talk, by your story, and by your whole outlook on life, and your beauty shines. Every single part of you, your beauty shines, especially when you speak, when you share your story. So thank you, Danette. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for coming on and being a speaker on our summit. What are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I just love connecting with people all over the world. What an amazing opportunity, and to learn from everyone too. We all come with this different skill set, with these different experiences, and being able to learn and pour into each other and learn from each other is pretty valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And Danette, where can people connect in with you? Can you just share with us again the best place for us to find you?
Sure. Well, my website with everything on it is beautyfromashesspeaker.com. I have a podcast called Listen Soul Sister with my podcast partner. And on Instagram, I'm beautyfromashes_2021.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and being our final speaker and ending the show in an incredible way. Thank you, Danette.
Good day. It was a good day. Thank you, Abigail.
Thank you. Have an amazing day. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. What a great show it's been, Ramonda. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Like, so many takeaways and a big theme that runs through, right? About leadership and empowerment and healing. Lots of stories of motherhood as well, which was really interesting. So this has been a great event.
Yeah, definitely. And I would love to invite you all to share your main takeaways. If there's something that stood out for you, share in a chat. Would love to read some of your comments or spotlight it. Or even, you know, when people are watching on replay, for them to see some of the highlight moments from today. It was beautiful. All of our speakers really showed up with truly authentic and personal stories. Opened themselves up to our audience, encouraged healing, encouraged empowerment, confidence, having a voice, and just so many beautiful messages and just a little nuggets of inspiration. And that's why these events are so powerful, because you never know what you will get out of it. But there's got to be at least one or two things. And I've seen some of the ladies in the comments saying, I really needed to hear that today. I was really inspired by that. And these are the comments that I live for when we do these events, that there was a message within this event for someone, even if it's just one key nugget or takeaway that potentially could transform your life or put you on a whole new path to healing or self-discovery, growth, elevation. And I hope you're feeling really inspired by our speakers today. Abigail, you're an amazing host. I want to say thank you. I know evenings are not your favorite times of the day.
I am definitely a morning person, but I'm bringing my A game for this event every month. Likewise, Ramonda, you're an amazing host, and it's a pleasure to share the screen with you.
Yeah, and share stages. We have had live in-person stages that we got to share. So a couple messages for our listeners, for our community, to say Women Thrive is really a platform for all women to be inspired and empowered, to have a community. We do a number of things. Not only do we host our annual Women Empowerment event, which happens every March, and you will get to meet our speakers at our event in March, which happens third week of March. Third week of every month, we host these free Unleashing the Power Women Voices events, so you can expect to meet other amazing speakers. First Thursday of the month, we host free networking events that you can attend, and all of this information can be found on our website at womenthrivesummit.com. We publish a beautiful magazine, and one of our speakers today is going to be featured on the cover of the Women Thrive magazine in August, which I can't wait. The magazine is already in print, and if you want to subscribe, whether in print or digitally, you can head over to womenthrive magazine.com. And of course, we publish beautiful beautiful books called Women Thrive as well. We just keep the branding across the board. And these are inspiring true stories of women overcoming adversity. And there are just so many areas that you can tap into to connect with inspirational women, hear their stories, and always know that you're not alone. You're really not alone on this journey of healing, growth, transformation. And together, I think when we come together, we can really make much bigger impact. So if you are still here right till the end, I want to say thank you for watching. And thank you to our team and our speakers for helping us create this beautiful event and make a bigger impact in the world. And Abigail, I'm just giving you a big virtual hug right now.
I'm back at you over the ocean. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you. Any last thoughts before we close out?
I think for me, loud and clear is how important it is to be able to, find these platforms for ourselves to speak, to share our story, and to, inspire others. So congratulations to all of our speakers. You've done an amazing job, and just keep sharing your message. Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Yes, yes, because surely, even if you feel like I've said it many times, there is still someone out there who have not heard your message or your story. So keep sharing it proud and loud with the world. Thank you all so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on another showcase in August. Thanks for now. Take care.